What up, world? It's your boy DeVonD checking in with you once again. The world is watching as usual, and this is The World is Watching Wednesday. I hope a lot of good energy is flowing in your life today, and if it's not, please take the steps forward to be able to change that. Whether you got to play a piece of music that gets you motivated, whether you got to change your environment by going to a place at peace, or get rid of some of them people you're around because they probably not good for you and they draining you all your energy, and you don't need that. What I want to let y'all know today, man, is that you are good enough. You are good enough. As you are, as you stand today, you are good enough for whatever it is that you're seeking in your life. You are good enough. I'm going to tell y'all what happened to me. As many of you may know, I promote an artist by the name of Q. Q was a 15-year-old kid from the inner city of Milwaukee who, when I picked him up, he was involved in some things that was just like, not conducive to having a positive future. He was part of a group called the B&E Boys, which was the Breaking and Entering Boys. He was, involved in, selling, narcotics and things like that in school, and just really had no real direction in his life, although he was a brilliant and A student. So when I heard him for the first time, one of my cousins brought him to me, and he was like, man, listen to this young cat. And I'm like, this dude kind of dope. Like, he had raw talent, you know what I'm saying? He had raw skill. And, I had my run in the music industry, and, I had that, growing up, I used to be heavily involved in the music industry, and I was able to, learn and gain a lot through that. And the only thing in my mind is that I wanted to use my resource to be able to change his situation some. Maybe that I can give him or inspire him to be able to not be involved in some of the things that he was involved in. But he didn't think he was good enough. So my goal was, okay, let me use this just to be able to get him out of the streets and just graduate high school. That was my only goal at the time, was just let me help him graduate high school. That's, if he get a high school diploma, good, you know what I mean? Like, he won't have to worry about that, in his life, and it'll give him more opportunity for whatever he decides to choose in his life. As we, explored the music industry, an opportunity came where Atlantic Records had wanted us to do a record on a topic of bullying and molestation. And when they sent me the record, when we got the call, they had also sent over some reference music, some words. It was like an old James Brown sample and other things it was whack. It was trash. You know what I mean? And, my partner, he was like, man, this is what they want us to do, man. Let's go ahead and knock this out. You know what I mean? Q got raw talent. He gonna make something happen. I'm like, yeah. But they made the words for him and gave him the music, you know what I mean? And how creative is that if they already kind of like paved the way for you already? They gave you all this stuff, and it's whack. And it's got to be a representation of you and your creativity. So I'm like, all right, cool. But when I went and grabbed Q, and then I grabbed my assistant Patrice, I didn't let them hear none of the reference music. I didn't even present it. I didn't even tell them that they had sent us something. I said, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit, because I knew what they wanted. And I had to trust myself enough to say, all right, I'm going to give them what they want, but I'm just not going, I'm going to just go a little bit different direction. No, I'm not trying to be a renegade and nothing like that, but I just want to be able to use our own creativity, because, yeah, it's something for them, but it's more important to us. So I took Q in the studio. He wrote the whole record. And then Patrice allowed me to produce her and, use her voice, her beautiful voice, for what I needed for the record. And we ended up knocking the record out. So, we had a deadline on the record, and it was really short deadline. I ended up having to produce the music, and then I had to come back to K, and, so he could submit it and send it off. So I bring it to him, and he was like, okay, let me hear it. And I press play. And I could see his face like, dog, what happened to the stuff they sent us? Like, these ain't the words they sent us, dog. Like, they gave us a specific task, and you kind of went to the left. And I'm like, look, man, this is important to us. We got to give them us, man. Like, if we going to have an opportunity to show the world who we are, let it be from us. And not that I'm trying to, like I said, be unruly. I just knew how important it was that something that's going to be promoted on the level that they were talking, I knew how much more it would give us if it came directly from our own creativity instead of some stuff that they wrote for us. So he was hot, he was pissed, and but we ain't had no time, so he had to submit it as it was. So once he submitted the record, you know, we kind of waiting on the phone call back, and I could tell he like, man, if we blow this chance, he's blaming it on me. I took it on my shoulders, like whatever happens, I'll take. So about 3 minutes later, 3 to 5 minutes later, the phone rang. Can't answer the phone. I'm like, what up? What they say? He's like, man, they love that shit. I said, what? He's like, man, they love it. I said, bet. You know what I'm saying? So and then they wanted us to shoot the video. So I own a company called Vibes Multimedia, and I had a videographer who worked with me, Adam. And I'm like, Adam, we got to shoot a video for this song. And you know, I allow him to be able to use his own creativity, and you know, let him plot out the whole entire video, shoot it, edit it, the whole nine, and we submitted it to the label. And that song, Can't Keep Running Away, you guys can look it up on YouTube. Can't Keep Running Away by Q went worldwide like that. The world was loving it. It hit 106 in Park. It hit BET News. He actually did 3 segments for BET. He did Jet and Ebony magazine. He did Billboard magazine. He was being promoted on side of Beyonce's father. They artists that they had, and they had a song out as well that talked about the bullying and everything else. And you know, he went all over the country promoting his own talent. The video that they shown on 106 in Park was straight from Adam, and it was just really that I wanted to show that everything that we are, everything that we do, is good enough. We don't have to go to LA, New York, Chicago, getting all these big producers and people to be able to validate that we are somebody. We are somebody. We are good enough as we are. All we got to do is just be able to give our talent the opportunity to shine. We got to give our creative juices, you know what I'm saying, the platform. And, you know, there's a difference between going against the grain and just being combative and you know, and against, you know, just against the grain, and to just understanding that I want to deliver I want to deliver what you're asking for, but I want to do it within my own creativity. And once you understand that your creative juices and everything that's inside you is good enough, what do you think that did for all the people who worked alongside of me? Confidence. They finally had something that they created from their hearts and their natural instincts, and it went worldwide, and people loved it. And it's just to show that we are good enough. So you are too. I don't know what you're doing or whatever you into. You know, a lot of times we get in our own way a lot of times by putting these blocks in front of ourselves and not giving ourselves the opportunity to shine. Get out your own way and get out there and let your light shine. Let your greatness show. Because you are good enough. But you gotta understand that you are good enough, and you gotta give yourself an opportunity to be great. You don't need the validation of BET or none of that. But nobody else will know that you possess it if you don't release it. So that's my message for you today. You are good enough. Let your light shine. You are good enough. Let it show. It's your boy DeVonD, man. The world is watching. Thank y'all for watching and supporting what I've been doing. Like I said, I'm just trying to help somebody out there who, you know, may be lost or need a little guidance, a little motivation or whatever. Purely for that. Because I wish somebody would have did it for me when I was growing up. So, holla at y'all in a minute. The world is watching as usual. And y'all go out there and be great. Because you are good enough.
I know that it's something